I just feel like Carmelo Anthony should have just took his 35 years, got out with good time, did his 70%, and called it a wrap. Now, even though they did have a gentleman's agreement, which it sounds like the prosecution did admit that because they didn't want to bring character into it, I understand why they didn't want to bring character into it. And now that it's a good chance he's probably going to get a new trial, who knows? But if he does get a new trial, these text messages that about him wanting to lick a knife and taste the blood and how he was having issues with his girlfriend, all that's like in the public now. So now we know what type of person, where his mind state really was at. He was just looking to get into it with somebody and in his words, stab him. But see, that's the problem. You guys get on the internet and become these 20-year lawyers and they went to school for it. And you think the same experience you got from being Columbo and using true crime that you can apply to real life scenarios, and that's not the case. And a lot of you guys can't even just use logic and look at the evidence objectively and then make a decision.
It's justice for Carmelo Anthony. However, opening up his case may not do what we wanted to do in the long run. Because if he did send those texts about the wanting to stab somebody, the knife, and some more shit, it might just prove that he's actually criminal. While I don't think the boy is criminal, anything and everything can be used against you.
What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. Hey, Carmelo Anthony should just let well enough alone. I hope he is smart enough to tell these lawyers, hey, man, I'm going to go on and do these 35. I'm going to apologize to the Austin family. I am, going to get in my word. I am going to repent, and I am going to work and do everything that I can to make sure that I get out in 17 and a half years. That's what he should do. Is he smart enough to do it? Probably not. New information has reportedly surfaced concerning an agreement between the prosecution and the defense that prevented the past conduct and alleged wrongdoings of both young men from being presented during the case. Now, if the reports are accurate, the agreement was intended to keep the proceedings focused on what happened during the final confrontation. And in my opinion, based off of what I've heard, based off of the information that has come out, young Carmelo received as fair of a trial as you could possibly get. Seriously. They wanted to keep things focused on what happened, not on unrelated incidents from either young man's past. Now, let me be clear. I cannot, in good conscience, excuse or condone the behavior of Austin Metcalf. I can't. That stuff that comes out, and we're going to get into it here in a little bit, that stuff that has come out leading up to this confrontation, hey, man, you can't condone it. The things that he has said, you can't condone it. We're going to get into it here in a second. And if he acted improperly, that should be acknowledged. Honestly, I'm in agreement with it. But acknowledging Austin's behavior does not automatically justify Carmelo Anthony's response or erase the fact that the confrontation ended with the young man losing his life. We're going to get into this. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Woo, this is a doozy. Let's go.
Carmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class.
Now, I want to say this again, can't condone it. Can't condone it, can't cape for the young man. What he did, it was wrong. When you start talking about, Heil Hitler and promoting and caping up for the KKK and things of that nature, can't get behind it. Cannot get behind folks, regardless of how old they are, being hateful, getting caught, performing vandalism, putting up this type of hateful rhetoric. It's not a good thing. It gets worse on the other side of things, but this isn't a good look. And I understand, and it could be a situation to where the Metcalf family, they didn't want this information put out because, what was this case happened in April of 25. So at this point now, we're talking a little over a year and 3 months or so. Had this information come out, who knows, what would have been done. We obviously know what was speculated and what was said, but it still doesn't give Karmelo Anthony the right to do what he did based off of the information that has come out. Those two people had never crossed paths before. They had never crossed paths. Karmelo Anthony did not know that these youngins in Austin had done these types of things, that he had been in trouble, for these types of things, and that he had a trouble past. He didn't know this. He didn't know it, but I can't condone this type of behavior, though.
In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 reveal that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day.
Yeah, this is bad. This is damning information. And full transparency, when I was, in high school, probably from about actually elementary school up, man, had I done anything remotely close to this, information that would have came out about me would have been bad. I've been, dealing with anger issues and fighting and carrying on since elementary school. Because I had some issues, going on, and I wasn't happy. I was upset. I was angry. And, even going into middle school, getting myself caught up, and going into high school, again, getting myself caught up. And then, thinking you want to thug and bug because you're trying to be something that you're not. I would assume, I'm just making an assumption that, these Metcalf boys in a similar situation for whatever reason. It sounds like, their parents have been divorced. And a lot of times when kids go through things, they lash out and they do crazy things. Does those things mean that he deserved to die on that day? Absolutely not. And based off of the information that we're going to hear about from Karmelo Anthony, is that it didn't matter who tried him that day. Somebody was going to get it. He had it on his mind. Somebody was going to get it. And, this is very, very unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate, but I understand why the prosecutors didn't want this information to come out. I also understand, based off of what we're about to find out, why the defense said, you know what, we're good with that as well. We agree, quid pro quo. We're not going to put y'all information out. We're not going to do the same thing because Karmelo Anthony's, I wouldn't say that it's just as bad. I would say that the things that are going to come out in reference to him is worse.
But the never-before-released details of Anthony's early years in Louisiana up to the day of his arrest for murder are also disturbing. On the day that Karmelo Anthony would fatally stab Austin Metcalf, prosecutors say he sent this text message at 1 a.m., which said, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge," and then emphasized it. Later in the morning, on April 2nd, 2025, and hours before Anthony would kill Metcalf with a knife at a high school track meet, prosecutors say Anthony's girlfriend reported to a Centennial High School staff member that Anthony was engaging in stalking behavior, to include but not limited to driving by her home and refusing to allow her to end their relationship.
This isn't a good look, especially with everything that has transpired over the better part of 5 or 10 years or so with the Me Too movement. The stalking of women, the believe all girls, and the type of abusive text messages that had come out. But I do got to ask you guys in the comment section, what is the likelihood of two troubled individuals crossing paths in this manner? It sounds like both parties, both Austin and Carmelo Anthony, had some anger issues that they developed as early as elementary school age. What is the likelihood of these two individuals crossing paths in this manner?
Also, in the 75-page filing, prosecutors say Anthony had previously been accused of stealing his girlfriend's phone, and in October 2024 wrote a to-do list for his girlfriend about how to deal with, quote, weirdos, which included the line, say some slick like my boyfriend kill people. There are also text messages where he admits on at least 2 occasions to punching girls in the face.
So when you look at it, both sides. Now, granted fact, the Metcalf family, it sounds like they're kind of, violence versus women or against women happened during elementary school ages. And it sounds like Carmelo Anthony's situation happened a little older. But as far as the type of behavior, yeah, it's pretty bad. This is not a good look for either side.
Prosecutors also found text messages from 2021 between Anthony and another student about robbing someone of $300. There are also text messages where Anthony talks about a fight and punching someone so hard he had to stop fighting. In 2023, prosecutors say Anthony told a friend he was going to vandalize someone's house in Austin, saying, quote, I just feel like it. I got a grudge. In 2021, Anthony told a friend he had been suspended from school for 3 days for fighting, saying, quote, they said next time I do some, I get recommended for expulsion. In a text conversation with a friend in 2023, prosecutors have messages from Anthony where he wrote, I'm a shoot the school up tomorrow with my blick, but later sends messages saying I would never actually do that. In a 2024 text thread, prosecutors say Anthony admitted to carrying a firearm, telling a friend before a party that he would have the gun in my pocket. There are other message threads where Anthony also mentions carrying a gun.
Look at this. He's under 18. He's not even supposed to have one, yet he has pictures, with the firearm. This is crazy, man. I mean, it sounds like this dude was on his way to prison one way or another. Right now, as per text message, he's admitted to a few crimes, at least 4 or 5 that we can think of right off the top of our heads right now. And it sounds like there's more.
After numerous suspensions for fighting while attending school in Louisiana, there are messages between Anthony and his girlfriend after he moved to Frisco. In one message thread, she suggests he should sit for a while, and he replied, yeah, and punch people, maybe run sometimes. I have to. It's like a priority for me. I like punching people. When I get mad, I see red. When I get mad, I black out. When I get mad, I can't control myself.
Is that what happened? And had he got up on the stand, is this the text messages? Is this the information that the prosecutor would have used and asked him, like, hey, did you get angry? Did you black out? Did you see red? Were you in a position where you felt like you could not control yourself? Those are the kind of questions that he was going to be asked had he sat on the stand. I mean, my thing is that when you have a self-defense case, most people can get up and articulate to the jury, articulate to the judge, articulate to the prosecutor and to the defense that this is why I did what I did, because I felt that my life was in danger. And the fact that his attorneys decided not to put him up on the stands, that is a problem. That's a major red flag for me.
Prosecutors also produced messages where Anthony admits to getting high and drinking alcohol and even talking about selling drugs to get guns. In 2024, prosecutors say Anthony even attempted to assault a teacher, saying, I put my hands and face and everything. Also in 2024, messages obtained by prosecutors suggest Anthony tried to bring a weapon into the State Fair of Texas, asking a friend if the State Fair got metal detectors. When he was told yes, his friend responded, you got the poker? Yeah, I might have to toss it, replied Anthony. Prosecutors say Anthony admitted to stealing a watch and earbuds in separate burglaries in Collin County, and also to bringing a weapon onto a Frisco school campus, saying this about his girlfriend. She went in my bag to get my computer, and I said no, and she still went in it and grabbed it, and my gun and my knife and some other stuff fell out.
That's at school. That's at school. The fact that he was still able to go to school with these kids is amazing to me. He should have been expelled a long time ago. He should have been removed away from kids. That's why I say, hey, get your kids out these public schools. You have no idea who you're sending your kids into school with. Because what we do know about the school system is that because they want that money, each student's worth a dollar amount, they're going to allow these students, even the ones that are crazy, that have issues, they're going to allow them to continue to come to school until they do something like this.
There are numerous unreleased photos and videos of Anthony holding firearms and making threats, and authorities found a note on Anthony's phone with a long list of disturbing racial tropes and slurs about blacks, whites, and Hispanics. In one message thread, prosecutors say Anthony wrote, "I hate gay people." Prosecutors say Anthony repeatedly threatened to murder his girlfriend in text messages, some of them saying, "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest?" and "I'm going to get you," expletive. He also threatened her with a knife in one message and told her in another, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade."
This is sick. This is sick. And the thing for the people that say, well, Metcalf was racist. Sounds like Karmelo was too. So, hey, those two things, they cancel each other out. And it also sounds like he didn't like a whole lot of anybody. So you got a lot of folks out there caping for this dude. And now you're finding out that he ain't like yo behind either.
Prosecutors and defense attorneys were able to develop these character reports from a combination of school records, police reports, and cell phone extractions. The hearing is expected to end sometime tomorrow. It will resume at 9 a.m. We know that the first defense witness will be the other trial defense attorney, Toby Shook.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts about any of this information that has come out? Do you think that they should not have done the gentleman's agreement and just allowed everything to come out? Or do you think the prosecutor was okay in doing it, knowing that, hey, if they get in conviction, there's a possibility for obviously an appeal and a new trial. And then at that point, all of this information is going to come out, because the reality of it is this: if he gets a new trial, and the way it's looking like he might actually get a new trial, he's going to wish he kept that 35 years, do 17 and a half, or have the opportunity to get out for parole in 17 and a half years. He's going to wish, based off of the information that has been presented, honestly, I don't know if we want a guy walking the streets who is willing to shank someone and lick the blood off of it. Anybody that's thinking like that, that person's gone. I don't think we want that type of person walking the streets, because it's only a matter of time before he actually do the things he does or said he was going to do. The other thing, I find it really weird. The girlfriend who he was threatening, who had said that he was stalking, she decided that she's going to continue to hang with this guy while he goes through this case. Now, I mean, we've seen women and young ladies do crazy things, because we obviously know that young ladies and women, they love the bad boy. So we've seen this happen. It's not like we hadn't seen, inmates, who have done some pretty heinous acts some kind of way, get girlfriends and get married. So, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised there, but he was saying that he was willing to do those things to you. Now, what would have been really crazy is that had she did something, and the next thing you know, he clicked and he did do something to her. What would you say then? I know there's a lot of folks out there that want to continue to cape. Even the opening clip, the lady said it's still justice for Karmelo, but I think he received justice. He received a fair trial. He received a lenient sentence with an opportunity to get out in 17 and a half years. And with him, I believe he was, 17, 18, with an opportunity to get out before 40. But I think with a new trial, and I'm thinking that the state of Texas is going to give him what he's asking for. He's going to get that new trial. Now, I don't think they should allow him out on bail, but I think, hey, give him that new trial. And when he gets convicted again, he doesn't get that same 35 years. He gets 50 to 60 years at that point. New trial, new judge, new sentencing. I think that if he's smart, he'd tell the lawyers to say, hey, man, let's go and leave well enough alone. Let me apologize. Let me repent. Let me get in this word, and let me start to try to make some form of amends and some form of, way to improve my life, to strip some of this anger away, and to start looking forward to the day that he gets out and can become a productive and positive citizen, you know, out in society. But I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload, and consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. And as always, keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. In the Lord hit my chest, kicked death from my breath, put power in my step.